Hello.
Yay.
Late to the party.
You're here. Like, I was just like,
Making an entrance.
yeah.
Always fashionably late. Well, I think there's different responsibilities makers, creators have to the world than critics or people who are meant to elucidate or communicate the work to other people who may not see the work. Um, so I also write criticism. I also write reviews, and it is hard to, yeah, there's a way in which criticism can sometimes, it supports this idea of a product goal, a product kind of oriented dance space, because you have like a one-page thing and it tells you this is good or bad, this is what happened, you go see it or don't at this place this weekend only, you know? And so there is a way in which criticism supports that squishing of the process into just the night you see it. And so I haven't really been able to reconcile how else how you deal with that if you aren't. And I know I'm maybe going on a tangent here, but one of the things I'm doing now is actually I'm an embedded critic for a drag cabaret
Oh, I
right
saw
now
that.
called,
Oh, you're doing it. That's amazing.
yeah, it's called
Yeah, I love
Cabaret
that.
at the End of the World. It's being put on by Pack Pack Theater. Um, and this is the first time I'm an embedded critic. So I get to be a part, in a way, of the process. And I get to respond to the work afterwards. It'll come afterwards, but I'll have like kind of an inside view to the process, just like what you're speaking about. And so I guess, but not everybody can be an embedded critic. Not everyone, you know, it takes money, it takes time.
Yeah.
And that's not, you know, you commit to the project in a different way than a reviewer does. You know, they commit to a project for 2 hours, you commit to the project for its entire duration. But that's one of the ways in which it's like, okay, so there isn't just criticism that tells you whether this work is good or what this work does, but there's people who are actually a part of the process who can try to elucidate you. I don't know if the answer is we need more funding. Like, that needs to be like, how can we move towards a field that's a norm for, you know, there to be a writer, a thinker, someone in the room. And I know there are a lot of companies and practitioners who that is, you know, always baseline. They always need that kind of person there in the room. But it does take money. It does take investment. Yeah. I don't know if that answers. That's how I would begin to start answering the question of the ways in which we can honor the time it takes to make a work and not just the night we see it.
Yeah, I've done like a dance writer in residence kind of thing, and obviously you're not a dramaturge, so you don't have any sway over what's created, but you're kind of just you're just, you know, documenting that process as kind of like an external rather than someone who's involved in the creative process, because people do tend to do that through like logbooks and stuff. So then you kind of get like an overall kind of sense of what the work perhaps is. Like, I don't know, it can kind of be what it needs to be, but I do think that something like that is really helpful and really interesting as well. I don't know what you think about that, Iris, as like, you know, a creator, whether or not that would be helpful.
Thinking all this time that I've been listening to you, I'm thinking that no one cares about the process. The process doesn't make money, the product does. And I think, you know, this is, of course, it's part of the system. And I think this is why the process is not of interest, you know, unless, of course, you're a creator or you're somebody who's involved in it, or you're making something similar, you know. What you're selling is the end product. And maybe that's part of why.
Do you think that it needs like reshifting or rebalancing so that there is an interest there.
Of course.
Mm.
And I think a lot has to do with educating people around the kind of effort and labor that goes into the process itself. But of course, well, personally, I don't work with, I don't see the work as end products because, you know, there's a big question mark in what end product means. If you're always in a process of discovering and making. But if we talk about the conventional way of, you know, viewing work that is an end product, yeah, there's this relationship of, you know, I'm getting something out of it, and that is, you know, my entertainment, my time for this, for me to consume this end product. You know, I'm painting the picture here. I think you all know what I'm talking about, but I think, yeah, it's of course up to us to educate people around this, but also it's a collective effort. You know, it shouldn't fall onto creators' shoulders, you know, everything, all of